Hello, it's John Graham here. If you are a highly accomplished, conscious leader, expert, or business owner, in the next 20 minutes or so, I'm going to walk you through exactly how to embody higher potential and alchemize the true root of the pressure that's within you without any of the mental effort or peak performance methods that you may have tried or are currently trying. Because a lot of leaders that I work with, that I talk to, are experiencing the same thing as you. You're constantly seeking to up-level in life, but anxiety, high stress creeps in and you just cannot shake it off. You're truly an expert at what you do. You probably feel tons of inspiration and ideas in the evening, but you lose all that juice when you wake up in the morning. There's an immense pressure to perform, and a lot of people are depending on you. Maintaining a peak state all the time takes a lot of effort out of you, but you push through anyways, even when you're drained. You're super intelligent, but you're in your head a lot. And it's a challenge not only staying focused on your priorities, but also staying fully present with loved ones. You're making money, but rarely are you ending your days feeling at the level of progress you expected or wanted. And here's the key. You feel that there's way more capability within you. I want to share with you right away that you do not have a mental or a performance issue. What you have is an emotional root issue that's causing this pressure and holding you back. If it were a mental or performance issue, you wouldn't feel like there's so much capability within you still after all of that mindset and inner work. So who am I? I'm John Graham. I'm a 3-time USA Memory Champion. I'm a Grandmaster of Memory TV performer globally. I once performed in front of 400 million people on a show in China where I had to memorize like 600 items on stage. Talk about pressure. What you don't know is my dark secret is that I suffered from anxiety, like chronic anxiety for 20 years, even panic attacks. And I would fail under pressure. I would just crumble under the pressure. And I went from that to performing in front of 400 million people, realizing that the trick was not through the mind, but an emotional root issue. We'll talk about that. Not only did I overcome it, right, but I tried all of the mental methods, the tactics, the treatments, all the conventional stuff we'll talk about. None of it remedied it. None of it touched it. When I realized that the true root was emotional, within 2 months on my own, I released it, overcame it for good. But not only did I overcome it, I learned, discovered how to transmute this pressure into higher and higher potential. And that's what I want to share with you. Ever since then, I've been sharing with other people and helping them overcome, release their overwhelm, their anxiety, their pressure to perform, the things that they cannot just shake. And when they do that, not only do they up level, but they can handle more of their mission and life. And it's pretty profound what's possible for you. But you see, there's an old paradigm. There's something keeping great people like yourselves, great leaders, stuck, even at a high level. And look, I did all this stuff too. I had the best, most elite coaches and mindset and mental performance. I tried all the brain optimization, the hacks, like all the mental stuff. But it didn't work, right? It didn't touch the root. I'm talking about things like meditation, mindset, limiting belief work, breath work, visualization, getting in state, journaling, therapy, reframing or asking deeper questions, positive self-talk, affirmations, mantras, hypnosis, self-hypnosis. There's supplements, there's nootropics, fitness, nutrition, cold showers, cold immersions. All of this stuff makes logical sense, that it would work, that it would help. Some of it does. There's nothing wrong with these things, but I want to tell you the truth that none of this stuff touches the real root issue in the way. If you are doing these methods too, but you feel like there's way more capability access within you, like you still know there's more, right? Buckle up, because the new dimension of your potential is going to open up to you. There's a new paradigm that I share in my process, Codes of Higher Potential. What we need to focus on instead of the mental and the performative things is number one, at the bottom of that triangle, that pyramid, release the true root forever for good. Second thing, we want to collect the codes of potential that those roots actually contain. And then finally, we're going to embody higher potential. When you embody something, you become it. You become certain. You hold that in you. You don't have to journal about it or list all the reasons or pump yourself up. You embody it. You hold that. That's what we're talking about. The first insight in this process is you can't reach your highest potential using your mind. Look, I'm a memory champion. I love the mind. It's capable of so many incredible things, wonderful things, like impossible things. But it doesn't contain the holy grail that you're looking for, right? I thought, if I accessed and reframed and rechanged and optimized my mind, that I could, achieve the ultimate success, that it was the key to everything. But I was wrong, and I was humbled in that. All of the experts out there are teaching mindset. They're teaching you to put you in a peak state, be in a high vibration, shift your mindset. Again, nothing wrong with those things. And you needed those techniques to get to the level that you're at right now. This is where you are because of that. But the reason that you can't go much further from that is because the resistance, the pressure within you is actually an emotional root issue that needs to be addressed and alchemized. You don't have a mental or performance issue. It's emotional root. I really want to hammer that home. This is not about intelligence. No matter how intelligent you are, mental effort cannot release the deeper conditioning, the blocks within you. We have to first release the emotional root. I want to share with you very simply this example. A fire, right, is like the emotion, right? The energy that creates the thoughts, that intensifies the thoughts or calms the thoughts down. It's based on the emotional energy, whether you feel it or not, or aware of it or not. And so most of the techniques out there are trying to control the smoke or battle the smoke. Well, you can't put out the energy underneath. You can't put out the fire by battling the smoke. It makes no sense. We have to go to the real root of that energy. It's also why things like meditation, right? I'm not slamming meditation, but anything that tries to calm you down or shift yourself out of a negative emotional state is distracting you from what you actually need to do in that moment to alchemize it, to transcend it. This is a process that I shared with just an absolutely incredible woman, Lauren Fay. She was a client of mine. She's a Reiki master and empowerment coach for substance addiction. When I met Lauren Fay, she had a lot of low motivation. She felt a mental paralysis, where she described it as her body would like freeze up in fear in key moments. Her mind wouldn't stop running though in those moments. So just overthinking, analysis paralysis, and this completely drained her. Now she is someone who, she worked out, she ate ultra clean, she meditated, she had all the wonderful tools that I shared with you. But she could not shake this feeling. So I want to let her explain what happened.
I have so many tools in my tool bag, but the way that you taught us some like emotional unhooking techniques, for instance, I get out of it so much faster. I have shifted significantly over these weeks, and it's been recognized by people around me. I feel very, very focused, very crystal clear on what I'm shooting for. The way I feel right now, I want everyone to feel this way.
And yeah, she's right. Everyone needs to feel that way. Now, Lauren Fay is someone who was all in. Like, she's completely devoted to her mission and just needed that accountability to learn and be guided to her next dimension, that next step. So let's talk about what the actual root cause is now. Insight number 2, the true root issue you are facing is an accumulation of suppressed emotions. It's not just one thing, but an accumulation. Basically what that means is, and this might be the most important thing to learn here, every single moment that you have ever resisted in your life is still suppressed inside of you. Every moment that you couldn't handle, the embarrassment, the anxiety, the pressure that you didn't handle in that moment that you pushed away is still suppressed inside of you. This buildup is the real reason why you feel anxiety, why you feel an intense pressure to perform at times and you can't shake it. It's why you contract. It's why you feel high stress, feel rushed, feel just a resistance to taking the actions that you know you need to take in your mission. Mental health and mental performance actually has an emotional root issue. The emotional root is what impacts the mental, not the other way around. So we can't solve this mentally. No amount of cognitive therapy or questions or journaling or thinking or digging can release this suppressed emotion. The mind cannot release suppressed emotion. And even tactics like emotional shifting, like feeling gratitude or shifting into a different emotional state, will not release it or transmute it because, again, it's a distraction. It's trying to change something that needs to be addressed and merged with. The only way to release and transmute these suppressed emotions is to learn how to merge with them, to collect them. Now, here's your body's electromagnetic system, and the black are the suppressed emotions that accumulate for, pretty much everyone. Now notice the white, the voltage, the electricity, the electromagnetic energy is limited. The life force is blocked because it cannot flow properly. It causes you to contract. When life pokes you, these flare up, they rise up, and it causes the stress, the pressure, those feelings and sensations, even the overthinking for us to live in the mind. Now, when we release, transmute, we clear them out. Imagine if nothing is in there to block you, to poke you anymore. Our electromagnetic energy can flow. We can act uninhibited, unbothered by life and stay expanded and not contracted. Now, this is called embodiment. It means that we hold our natural traits, our potential, and a higher capacity to handle life in us. We become unbotherable. We become fearless. We become confident and certain. It's not something that we fake or that we have to list or pump ourselves up for. We hold it within us. And we hold a higher capacity to handle more of life's voltage, which we'll talk about. Now, the key to this process, the very start of this, starts with releasing years, if not decades, of the unconscious tension within us. Because tension is literally what is holding and constricting, what is holding the suppressed emotion in us, not allowing it to release and process out for good, not allowing it to flow out. When we tense up, we're holding in that intense, uncomfortable voltage. Think of all the times you've been uncomfortable. You tense up. Whether you're frustrated and angry, whether you're anxious, we tense, we contract. And we hold in that voltage instead of allowing it out to process because it wants out. But we're the ones unconsciously tensing. So over time, we've accumulated this. This causes dysregulation of the body, especially the nervous system, which, hint, the nervous system is connected to the brain. This is why we live in our heads, because we disconnect from our bodies, from this voltage, because it's uncomfortable. And we live in our head. Our mind tries to figure out how to cope, how to handle, what to do next, our best decision, what do we do? And we live in our head, we overthink. Now with tension, you might think, I just need a massage or a hot bath or to stretch, right? As wonderful as those things are, they don't change the real root issue of why you're tensing in the first place. Because you can get a massage, but then you're going to tense back up again unconsciously. So this process isn't just about regulating or calming yourself down. That's step one. That's base level. But we go beyond that process of regulation. In my process of codes of higher potential, I teach a process where my clients lie down and I guide them through a track that walks them through two huge changes. Number one, they learn how to release deep cellular tensions that are holding in this suppressed emotion. The second thing, this will teach you how to unhook from your unconscious tension response. So you're going to become aware of when you tense. You're going to learn how to release and unhook that unconscious response that is holding in so much like stress from 24 hours a day, what we unconsciously do. When you release this, not only can the suppressed emotions start to release, and we'll learn how to merge and process that, but the intelligence of your bodies can now self-organize and heal and fully optimize naturally, without us poking and prodding and jumping up and down and trying to do all this stuff to get it to do what we want it to do. The body has a supreme intelligence to it. When I taught this to one of my favorite clients ever, Racheli, she is from Israel. She's a mental performance coach. She is a self-development coach. She was someone who was extremely conscious of her thoughts, of her mind. And what she would used to do is she would stop her mind and reframe her thoughts, like negative thoughts, to get things done, which don't we all? Or we've tried that, right? But she had an incredible amount of stress in her body, and she was told that she suffered from ADHD too. She tried to solve that mentally with all these methods, right? But when she relearned this release method, she described a new dimension that opened up to her. So I want her to describe this for you.
This is a miracle. It's like your tool is now clean, or I don't know how to say it in English. Like everything is clear. The path is open in your body, and new data coming to your mind. I feel I have the capacity to let, like you said, I expand and I have more capacity to let a lot of kind of emotions go through me and release.
So this opened up a new level of sovereignty for her, within her, because Racheli knew that investing in herself was the biggest way to uplevel not just her and her business or mission, but also her family, right? Her clients, everyone. Her embodiment was the key to all of that. Now, the craziest part of this entire process, number 3, suppressed emotions are suppressed potential. This is huge. Suppressed emotions actually contain the unique codes that you have needed all along to hold the capacity to embody higher traits for your mission. They're the key to breaking through all the sludge, the conditioning, the programming that you've tried to force feed through your mind and journaling, like I did too. But the suppressed emotions contain the key, the codes. So this is not about getting rid of suppressed emotions. This is where so many intelligent people go astray. I just want to get rid of it. This is not therapy. This is not purging in any way. You can't get rid of anxiety by trying to get rid of anxiety, like everyone tries. But you can transcend anxiety by collecting it. So here's the old paradigm where so many people go astray, and I did too, right? A lot of people believe that negative thoughts and emotions and beliefs and conditioning are sort of the enemy to your expansion. So basically every technique tries to get rid of or force or shift or change these negative thoughts and emotions so that you can try to be in a different mood or a thinking process or to raise your vibration or recondition your mind. I mean, it makes sense, right? The new paradigm. Your suppressed emotions are pure potential that has been blocked or deactivated. So we want to access, reawaken, reintegrate those parts of us. We don't want to push them away and reframe them away of the mind. That avoids the issue that keeps them down. We want to access them and merge with them and collect them. Your suppressed emotions contain codes of higher consciousness that should be collected. These codes will inform you of how to move through the challenges that you face. This is why you don't need a guru or a mentor for a lot of the things in life, because you have this guidance within you if you learn how to navigate it. Racheli described this beautifully. She said, Look, as the owner of a business, we all go through a lot of mentors and business coaches that show you how to do it best or how to get the best success. But now I understand it differently. It's great to have a business coach. I will always have one with me, but I understand that the only formula to success is the formula, the code in my data from my DNA. I let the emotion, the energy go through me and wait for the data, the live knowledge that we all have. This is perfectly said. So in my process of codes of higher potential, 2 dimensions of higher potential open up to you in this process. Number 1 is higher capacity. Number 2 is higher embodiment. Now, I've been saying the word higher a lot. Higher does not mean better. Higher means higher consciousness. So let's talk about the first, higher capacity. Everyone talks about energy, but very few people talk about expanding your capacity to hold more energy in the first place, increasing the size of your gas tank, if you will. No matter how well you eat, exercise, or sleep, or prime your state, this person right here can only contain, let's say, 200 volts of life force energy. Now, this is most people. This is where I was too. Anything over 200 volts of life, or if you get poked by life, you start to leak that energy, that life force. You can't hold it. You can't contain it. That means you lose motivation. You become reactive. You rely on old habits. You become overwhelmed, right? Bad habits, you shut down. All that stuff. You don't have the capacity to take the higher actions that are needed and required for your mission. Now, when you release these suppressed emotions and collect and merge with that data, look what happens. Your body's electromagnetic field expands, and you can hold more energy, literally. Now, imagine handling, let's say, 3,000 volts. It's an extreme difference. How much more could you accomplish and move forward in life if you were unbotherable, unpokeable, and were able to contain that much voltage of life so that things didn't shut you down? The second part is higher embodiment. Embodiment means regaining all the parts of you back online. When we embody, we emanate. We emanate sovereignty. We emanate becoming and being unbotherable. It's not something we mentally do. Oh, I'm sovereign, I'm free. Like, here's all the reasons why. No. It is felt. It is emanated from your being. You feel it. You don't need to think it. You embody certainty. You embody flow, presence, groundedness, fearlessness. This process also allows your body, again, to naturally, the intelligence of your body, to cleanse and heal optimally. In your mission, you will start to perceive things you didn't perceive before. That's the raising of consciousness. The blind spots will become unblinded, right? You will become compelled and driven into doing higher actions. And epiphanies will happen. Not through the mind, not through again, digging through the mind. What do I do next? You will have it unfold, just like Racheli said. Now, Chin, one of the most incredible clients I've ever coached, she was in poverty in Vietnam. She came to me with an intense fire and urge inside of her to improve in life. Little did she know her mission would unfold beautifully and naturally in this process. And it all started in 2019, where with this training, with my help, she became the 2019 Vietnam Memory Champion. And from that experience, from that accomplishment, she was featured on TV, a national TV show called Super Intelligence, Siêu Trí Tuệ. This had 20 million people, where she performed a couple of times. Now imagine the capacity that you need to stay centered, focused under that intense of a pressure in front of 20 million people. She also, in 2023, broke a memory world record with my guidance too. Now, Chin was someone so devoted and self-led in her mission. She is incredible, and she's making more money than she ever imagined. She's living her dreams, helping and inspiring millions of people. And look, she's only in her early 20s. Now look, all of the clients that I've shared with you had a fire. All the clients on my website had, despite all of their accomplishments, knew inside that they had way more capability and capacity, despite everything that they've done before. But they were people who were all in and devoted to themselves, to their mission, to their embodiment improvement. And they came seeking guidance, knowing that this process, as you can see and understand, it's not an easy button. But the immense size of your mission, yes, you, requires a greater capacity and embodiment that intellect and performative methods cannot do and help you accomplish anymore at this stage. This is not for people who want to stay the same. This is not for people who want to stay in their mind or in performative tactics. And there's nothing wrong with that, by the way. Now, look, you can keep doubling down on mindset. You can keep digging for limiting beliefs. You can keep getting in state to try to take action and pumping yourself up. But this is not about the books you read. This is not about your intellect. This is not about the performative rituals that you do. This is about a deeper activation within you and alchemy. This is a completely counterintuitive process that many of us, including myself, have been taught. And this is not for most people. But I know that you're not most people. This is a very deep process and not something that you can fix watching a 20 or 30-minute video. This is something that will require deeper guidance for you to do on your own. Now, if you're interested in how I can help you do this process, collecting codes of higher potential, really looking forward to meeting you and helping you expand in your mission and your embodiment.